deserted Kismayu, Port City. They have actually deserted the area. So therefore, we never had any challenges. We actually entered the town without any resistance at all. And we came all the way to the airport without any resistance.
But the city is still unsafe. Lawlessness is spreading. The retreat of the Shabab has left a power vacuum, and residents say that clan militias are regrouping. There are already reports of civilians and clan leaders having been killed. The Shabab are also said to have broken into Kismayo's main prison before retreating and of having released the prisoners. But with this city now under control of the Somali, Kenyan and AU forces, the Shabab will be cut off from the main entry point of arms shipments.
Turkey says its armed forces have shelled a Syrian military base along their common border. Ankara's move came shortly after a Turkish border village was flattened by Syrian mortar fire, killing 5 people. The Turkish parliament convened an emergency session on Thursday morning to authorize Turkey's military action across the border, but Turkish authorities say they do not want to go to war with Syria. We have details of that story in this report.
Overnight Wednesday, Turkey began shelling Syrian army military positions in the Tal al-Abiyad village on the Syrian side of the border. Turkey's artillery attack comes in response to Syrian mortar fire that hit the Turkish village Akçakale on Wednesday. The Syrian bombing killed 5 people from the same family.
They were all my relatives. Now they're all dead.
This is the 3rd such incident, but the first time that Turkish civilians have been killed. In June, Syrian forces shot down a Turkish fighter jet and killed both crew members, but this is the first time that Turkey has retaliated.
This incident is the last straw. First of all, Turkey is a sovereign country. Turkey was bombed and its people died. It has rights under international law. I would like to let the world know that we will do whatever needs to be done.
The Turkish parliament held an emergency meeting on Thursday and has authorized cross-border military operations in Syria. However, Turkish authorities say they do not want to go to war and insist that any intervention is intended to be dissuasive. Meanwhile, the Syrian authorities officially presented an apology to Turkey.
The parties concerned have opened an investigation into the origin of the shelling that cost the life of Turkish citizens. In the name of the Syrian Arab Republic, I would like to offer my condolences to the families of the victims and to the Turkish people.
Turkey asked the UN Security Council on Wednesday to take action against Syria following the shelling. Turkey had earlier consulted with NATO allies and got a statement of support. NATO said it condemned the aggression against an ally and called on the Syrian regime to put an end to such flagrant violation of international law.
Africa's mining industry is trying to move forward after a tumultuous weeks. Angry platinum miners at the Marikana mine eventually won a pay rise, but only after several dozens were shot and killed by police during a strike. Worse for the industry, the labor unrest is still a problem at other mining operations. CNN's Kepele Mabuzi has a closer look at that story.
The culture of strikes and protest action is deep-rooted in South Africa. They played a pivotal role in the push for change during apartheid. But many fear the 6-week-long labor dispute at London-listed Lonmin Mine may have changed the rules of engagement forever. After failed attempts to disarm protesters demanding better pay, this is how the South African police resolved to end the already violent wildcat strike in August. By the time a pay deal was struck, more than 40 people had died, some allegedly killed by the striking miners. Desperate to prevent further bloodshed and resume work underground, the platinum producer increased wages by up to 22%. Today, Reuters estimates that more than 70,000 mine workers across the country are on strike. That's 15% of the total workforce. And the scenes that preceded the Lonmin wage agreement are now playing out at New York-listed goldfields. We were not influenced by workers at Lonmin, this rock drill operator tells me. We've always wanted a $1,500 monthly pay. But bosses in the gold mining sector are talking tough. Do you think Lonmin set a dangerous precedent?
Yes, I do, but I don't think we're going to repeat that.
Goldfield CEO Nick Holland says investors are already voting with their feet.
We're seeing a lot of investors who've been with us for 15 years who are saying, we're out of here. They're saying, the risk here is just too high, we're going to go and take our money out, and we're going to put it somewhere else.
So the company is taking action against its employees. Here at the world's fourth largest gold producer, striking workers have been told to vacate company hostels seen by management as a base from which the violence and intimidation that has characterized these wildcat strikes is planned. They've also been asked to return to work or face dismissal. We're prepared to die on this hill, this man tells me, and if we get fired, we will not allow new people to work here. Once the world's top gold producer, South Africa has now fallen to 5th place, mainly because of high production costs. Mine owners say demands for higher pay will only make mining here even less competitive. Nkepile Mabuse, CNN, Johannesburg.
We now take a second break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. A little reminder of our earlier mentioned media release from the Office of the President. The general public is hereby informed that 68 former HIV and AIDS patients who have been successfully treated under the President's treatment program will be released at a ceremony to be presided by His Excellency the President, Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya AJJ Jammeh at State House grounds on Saturday, 6 October 2012 at 4 p.m. A media release from State House urges all those who successfully underwent the President's treatment program since the first batch to cordially attend the release of the 7th batch and on time. And before we go, a reminder of our headlines. The Vice President and Minister of Women's Affairs, Dr. Isatunjai Sedi, has joined other world leaders from Africa and Europe to discuss the current situation in the Sahel. Principal Magistrate Taiwo Alagbe of the Banjul Magistrates Court has delivered judgment on the case of false information against former UTG Director of University Relations Gumbo Toure. Fleeing members of the Al-Shabaab group have opened the gates of Kismayo Central Prisons in wake of their withdrawal from the strategic port city. And Turkish armed forces have shelled a Syrian armed post in retaliation against a Syrian army mortar attack on a Turkish village. You are reminded that you can monitor GRTS Radio live on our website at www.grts.gm. That brings us to the end of this edition of the news. Thanks for the pleasure of your company. Enjoy the rest of our programs.
Seize the day. A compelling blend of drama, passion, and misery. Luciana is young, beautiful, and rich. Her moments are fun and never-ending. But a close look reveals an insensitive and envious girl. Being a sport model, Luciana's envy of supermodel Helena extends beyond the catwalk.
Are you okay?
Get away from me. You must be happy with what happened. It's a curse. You've cast a curse on me. Oh my God!
Helena Mitz falls in love and marries Luciana's father, Marcus.
Dad!
Dad?
I just can't believe it.
I'm starting to think this is a trap.
Oh, look! The young lady is walking into the lion's den and thinks she's in a church.
I didn't know he was your father.
Can you hear me? Get out! Or else I will run over you! Run over you!
I want to see that.
Luciana's selfish life is the synthesis of everyone around her, until a fatality changes the scene completely.